Engineers, it's really paying them 20,000 rupees also is waste. What are we doing to our education system?
As an educator, that's your strong word.
No educator would not say no to any child. There are many introverts out there who are the CEOs.
Trying to figure it out by themselves.
Doctor with AI, general medicine is a big threat.
Do you feel that it's a drawback in the curriculum?
Why will it be a drawback for Indian parents? Only an Indian parent. Parents need not teach at home. As a drummer, will he be able to achieve that monetary benefit and still have that life?
10th grade child, I know I want to become a doctor.
That's where schools educate parents. Yes, Cambridge students, yes, they have the international global recognition. Teaching photosynthesis from state board to all the way to IB is similar.
We used to just finish our exams, we just mug it up and then finish, and then that's it. The books are done and closed and put aside.
B.Ed never says it's a teacher-led. B.Ed says it's a student-led learning. The irony is, Cambridge and IB are our own curricula.
I didn't know this.
This is how we were.
Okay,
IB,
how we
Cambridge, we were.
You're talking about like the
Gurukul
Gurukul system?
Exactly.
Okay.
How? Why? How is it possible? Are you some Einstein? No. The child was an average child.
Does the child have an upper hand of the other child who's done it from CBSE? Welcome to Yellow Slate, India's top school search engine. We're very excited to bring you Yellow Slate podcast, where we are going to invite guests from different backgrounds who's going to give us insights on parenting, academic, schools, and much more, which would help you in your parenting journey. Today, we have a very interesting topic, which lots of parents are curious to know about Cambridge curriculum. Let's dive deep into this. Welcome, everybody. Today, we have with us Ms. Padma, Principal of Epistemo Vikas Leadership School. Hi, Ms. Padma.
Hi, Deepthi. How are
We're so
you?
thrilled. Oh, thank you. We're so thrilled to have you here with us today.
Thank you.
So let's dive deep into the conversation that I wanted to have. Generally, the most important question, or the question that's on the top of all the parents, is about the curriculum. And the curriculum that we are going to discuss today is Cambridge. So according to you, what would you say are the insights of Cambridge curriculum, and how is it different, or how is it more value or better than the traditional CBSE or ICSE curriculums that we've had?
Yeah. So, Deepthi, there is this confusion across all the parents sector, whether they're highly educated or not. Why? Because most of the time we are confused with so many syllabi, curricula on the market, right? Like you have state board, you have CBSE, you have Cambridge, you have IB, you have ICSE. Yeah, with so many boards. So I would say teaching photosynthesis from state board to all the way to IB is similar. Teaching fractions, teaching multiplication, addition is almost similar. But the difference lies in the approach to it. Point number one, the depth of the subject that it goes in each grade level.
Okay.
And the third point is how the assessments are done.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So now coming to, let us pick like Cambridge, for example.
Mm-hmm.
In Cambridge, let's say there is a dartboard. Before we go to Cambridge, I would explain to you about the assessment of CBSE. Now there is a dartboard, and then you are putting a dart. Now, what is in CBSE? What happens? The question comes like, can you find the area of the circles in the dartboard?
Okay.
So, which means they have learned. The child has learned about the area, the concept, the formula. Now they have to find the inner circle, outer circle, all the circles, and write it on a paper. The knowledge that they have gained, they applied it onto the dart circle, and they have written. A child has written the answer to it. Now, the same question in Cambridge, there is a dart circle. Yeah. What is the probability that into the inner circle that the dart will hit?
Okay.
So now there are two different strands that a child has to understand. One is areas measures plus probability.
Right.
So in Cambridge, there are like different strands. Like what are the strands? Numbers, geometry and measures, trigonometry, algebra, and learning math by thinking and doing math, right? There are like the 6 different strands that Cambridge curricula takes it. Cambridge curriculum takes it forward, right? So now coming to the same similar, I mean, I'm just comparing these two boards because CBSE is a national curriculum. Right. Nothing wrong in any of the curricula, but the depth and interrelated questions. Now how Cambridge is taking through, when you're learning areas, you need to understand about the probability also.
Right.
With this, there would be an interest that is created in a child.
Okay.
A dartboard, but what is the probability?
Okay.
Yeah?
Right.
So the child thinks deeper.
Okay.
Now, another example. Now, for example, fractions in CBSE. In grade 6, fractions, how it would be. Addition and subtraction would be in grade 6 of fractions. And in grade 7, multiplication and division. Right. Versus in Cambridge, grade 6, you learn all the 4 operations. Addition, multiplication, subtraction and division. When you move on to grade 7, then you learn the irregular fractions, regular fractions. Yeah? So there is progressive.
Okay.
It's going progressively.
Okay.
And it is going in, a depth of the range of the subject.
Okay. So let me understand this. So you're trying to say that the concept is introduced in and around the same age, but whereas in Cambridge, the concept goes in depth as the age goes, as the grade goes higher.
Yeah.
The concept goes in depth.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and it relates to the real time, scenarios. Like, for example, trigonometry.
Right.
Trigonometry is there in both the curricula. Now, trigonometry in CBSE would be like tan theta, cos theta, sin theta, and then the area between the buildings.
Yes.
Now,
That's what I remember.
Now, coming to Cambridge, it is area between buildings, area between cities.
Okay.
It goes.
Now, in depth.
There is an interest in the child. Why? Because your assessments are like that.
Okay.
Your assessment is based on, they need not remember the formula. The formula will be given in the paper. Okay. But the application of the formula is something that, thinking skills, critical thinking, reasoning, logical reasoning is something that Cambridge checks in depth.
Okay.
CBSE stops at one level.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's very interesting the way you put it. Right.
Right. Now we'll pick a French.
Okay.
What does a language? Language is an emotion.
True.
When you're able to express your emotion, and when you're confident in it, the language flows in automatically. Yeah. But if the child has fear towards any language, it's not about grammar. It is about what do you call that cup?
Okay.
In Hindi or in French? Water, how do you call it? Make it simpler for them, right? Make it interest for them. Like, what is the color? The way you're sitting. Then the interest of language comes into a child.
Okay.
Now in Cambridge, what do we do? In the final board exam, there are 4 aspects, 4 papers to it. Yeah. Listening, speaking, writing and reading.
Okay.
Now, coming to CBSE, I mean, it is a language.
It's a language.
How does board matter? Concept, how does a board matter, right? But you do take the concept to the child. But what matters is how the assessments are done.
Okay.
Now, in CBSE, 80 marks is the written paper, final board paper.
Right.
20 marks is your internal assessments,
Yeah.
which includes your rest of the speaking and listening.
True.
Board versus internal, and the board you're concentrating on writing, right? The writing aspect is the grammar, reading comprehension, unseen reading comprehension that they have, and writing, creative writing will be part of it. When it comes to Cambridge, you have speaking. In speaking, you have role play.
Okay.
For in your board exam, you need to do a role play with your teacher.
Well, that's so
with your essay, whoever is the accessories, right? So, what happens there? They give you a role play, you need to pick the card, and then you will be given 10 minutes, the time to think about it, and then you have this conversation with the teacher, with the assessor. So, you're assessing your speaking skills, right? Listening. The Cambridge sends a CD, and then we have to play the CD in the exam hall, and the children listen to it, comprehend the questions, and they have to answer the questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Reading and writing, reading comprehension, another paper, writing another paper. So, so where the child is checked holistically, they are given equal importance. So language is learned through lot of role plays, lot of cuisines that, that cooking classes that you do, different kinds. You watch lot of YouTube channels, like for example, sports channels, cartoons, right? That makes it interesting for the children. So yeah, that's the difference. I mean, that's where the depth of the subject and the how we are assessing matters a lot.
I think you've put it across so beautifully. I mean, so simple more than anything, for parents to understand. Because there's so much out there for us to read, and we try to, because we're not from CBS. I mean, we're not from Cambridge. We've never done anything like this. So we used to just finish our exams. We used to mug it up and then finish, and then that's it. The books are done and closed and put aside. But whereas now, as you said, it's like a process. It's like learning is a process for them till they are in the higher grades and beyond that.
Yes.
That's very interesting. How are your teachers adapting to the new curriculum? That's because this is as fairly new. I would not say very new, but for us, because I'm sure the teachers are our age. So how are your teachers adapting to the new curriculum and new methodology of the teaching way? Because it's fairly new. Getting into that approach. How are they able to get into the shoes of the students and try to understand get into their level and try to understand that?
Irrespective of any curricula, the teacher's job is like that. Let's say you're doing B.Ed, Bachelor in Education. You're trained to do that. Continuous process of assessing the child. B.Ed never says it's a teacher-led. B.Ed says it's a student-led learning. Yeah, so does Cambridge. The irony is, Cambridge and IB are our own curricula, where we buy from somebody and then you pay them.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, of course. And CBSE is British curriculum.
Oh, I didn't know this. This is something new.
Yeah, these are our own curricula.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, I'm sure most of the parents didn't know that.
Of course.
This is definitely something new. So you mean to say we have adopted CBSE?
This is how we were.
Okay,
this IB is how and Cambridge we were.
You're talking about like the Gurukul system?
Exactly.
Okay, this is how we were.
We were.
Okay.
And then when British came, they have introduced their curriculum, which is the British curriculum where, we all follow now.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So you're saying that we are going back into the Gurukul curriculum when we take up Cambridge?
Not exactly to the Gurukul curriculum, but we are there. Cambridge and IB, yes.
Oh, yeah. I think that's something positive. That's a positive take from today.
Yes.
As a parent, I'm very happy to know this.
Yes.
Okay.
Because see, it is completely how the child thinks, how the child enjoys, how the child feels. It is about the child, not about the parent or the teacher.
Yes.
Now, a parent might want to, for a child to go into a math stream or a science stream and then, excel in that. IIT, JEE, mains, exams, training a child to one kind of a competitive exam, if it becomes an agenda and goal, then we are really not doing justice to the child. I'll give you one example. I sent a child to one of the engineering university, saying that, somebody that I know of, because there is a career fair happening and internships are happening. And the child went with the 9th grade child. She went with the iPad and then she attended. And all the engineering graduates were there. For privacy purpose, I'm not going to disclose the school name or the child name or the college name or anything. But what I want parents to understand here is, it's really very important. The child comes home and talks to her mom, I got internship. How? Why? How is it possible? Yeah. Because these are for engineering final year students, right? No. They, the professor asked us to build a 100 family infra, a village. They asked us to use ChatGPT or Google. And then how did you do? It was very simple. In a family, 2 children, 1 mom and dad. So ChatGPT gives you the information, extrapolate it, put it on a slide. and explain it.
Yeah.
And when the child was explaining, the entire college, I mean, the final year students came to the child and was like, they were curious, from which school? Who are your parents? Are you some Einstein? No. The child was an average child, right? I mean, but the child has the skill to what to look in the Google or how to use AI.
How to use
The child has the skill. The child has the spirit of, and no fear of being judged. Now, why is that engineering final year students, they also have done, but not to an extent where it was supposed to be done? Why? 10th board exams, marks, 11th and 12th competitive exams, MSET, or this, that, IIT, JEE means you're only preparing them in one mode of competitive exams. And then now they are into college, full freedom. They don't know what to do with the freedom. Are they adapting? College is also interesting, but it won't be interesting when you have been in a dungeon, only done that for your entire 2 to 3 years of your, life from 10, 11, 12. How are they going to even, do that, right? Now, 6 years of your education has gone down. Now, I'm not sure if you have recently read an article about that. I'm not sure the company name. They said engineers, it's really 20,000, paying them 20,000 rupees also is waste.
Oh, interesting.
Because skill is lacking.
Okay.
They don't know how to interact with people. Communication skills gone down. They can't negotiate. They can't take calculated risks.
Right.
So many things that are happening. Then what are we doing to our education system?
Yeah. So it's like a holistic. I mean, a child needs to develop all these.
Holistically, and it is just not academics. Academics is only 30 to 40% of it. The other aspect is, what did the child do in life? Right? What did the child do? Is there any activity? Is the child good at drawing or art or any musical instrument or sport or Olympiads? Or how did the child keep himself or herself busy other than just academics? Did they be part of donation camps? Did they be part of leadership programs? When I say donation, not showing off like, okay, I'm donating 10,000 rupees. No. Where you being with an orphan, lived with the orphan, spent a day completely with an orphan child, underprivileged child. What is their life? How privileged are you? Now, what can you do to them?
So, in Cambridge curriculum, do they offer, I mean, do you have to do all these extracurricular or is it like an option?
That's not curriculum. Cambridge or CBS, it depends on the school.
It depends on the school.
Schools,
okay.
How you plan your other activities.
So it's got nothing to
do with the curriculum.
Okay.
But curriculum does. In Cambridge, there is a course called GT, Global Perspective, where there are topics that human rights, right to education, money, about earning a living, how to earn a living, just not locally, around the global perspective, where they understand what is happening, where they can voice, where they can reflect upon. So that is there. Even in CBSE, like, British, we do International Dimension School, that this is something that the schools opt for.
Okay.
It's not about
it's got nothing to do
but
with it.
At a curriculum level, global perspective helps them.
So saying that, as the child is going for higher education in Cambridge, as far as I know, you'll have to choose your majors a little early, probably by 9th or 10th, and you have options of letting go of the subject that you don't want to, or you're okay letting go. So how do you think it works in Cambridge? I mean, for the parents to try and understand, instead of we give 5 or 7 papers on CBSE, whereas in Cambridge, you can opt for the number of papers or the subjects that you give. Can you just tell us about that?
Minimum number of subjects in Cambridge is 5, and maximum is you can go as much as you can, but it is limited in schools. We can't go to that an extent. If a child and a parent are clear about what they want, yes, they can choose. Like, see, how many streams would there be? Science stream that involves math, biology, science, humanities, and then business and entrepreneurship.
You're forgetting arts.
Arts, yes, arts as well. Yeah. So arts as an educator, you forget arts as I know Deepthi. Exactly. I know. I have touched you. Why? Because you're an artist, and then we forgot arts, right?
Yeah,
No.
because
Yes, arts also.
that's one of the major thing that I
It
wanted
is,
to
yes.
ask.
Arts now. Before I go there, I want to give you an example. As a society, how do we want our children to settle in life? Or what is that our children want? Like, for example, my son would come and tell me, Amma, I want a music band. I want to be a drummer for the rest of my life. Right? Now, this is all a psychology. Now, I'll come to the arts as well. If a child has to be successful, when I say successful here, it is monetary. And if as a drummer, will he be able to achieve that monetary benefit and still have that life? Or if he is taking some other, stream where, he can enter into it and then get the monetary things and still follow his passion drumming. Yeah. So I made him do an experiment. You go to Glassdoor.
Yeah.
You tell me initially for a drummer what it would cost with that lifestyle. Will you be okay with it? Then he said, no, Mama, I want this, and this. Now then, what is that interests you other than drumming? Passion. Don't leave the passion. Keep it with you. You can do this and that, both. Yeah. But there would be children who they can take the other subjects, but art is the only way for them. Yes, they can, but we need to be prepared. Art and AI, how is it going to help them, right? That's where the subject choices have to be given to them, where they can balance it off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I hope I made you happy with
No,
this.
yes, of course you did.
Because not every child's cup of tea is science.
Exactly, because as I would see, lots of the educators or lots of schools would not give as much importance to the off-stream subjects. I'm not going to specify arts here, but off-stream subjects than the main subjects, So saying that means what, let's say you've taken
There is
math.
a reason.
Oh, there's a reason?
Yes.
Okay, can we
I'll
talk
tell
about
you.
that?
If there are minimum enrollment of students, then schools will provide. Let's say if 1 or 2 children are opting for it, then budgeting will be a huge problem for the schools.
Okay.
And so that's why the
Yes.
4 streams that
Yes.
I was talking about, in those streams you have children coming in. And again, it depends on the school. If a school is okay with having 1 child also and that they're providing irrespective of the budget, fine, good.
Okay.
Yeah. But mostly due to budget reasons, giving too many giving too many subjects is not possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say in higher grades, if the child wants to take math, science and social,
Yes.
English, language is anyways there.
Yeah, 2 languages.
Yes. So in Cambridge, can a child let go of math completely and take up science as majors even for 10th grade? Because in case of the few children are very focused about their career. Let's say a 10th grade child, I know I want to become a doctor, for that. And then she comes and she says, I don't need to do math because I rather put in the 2 hours that I'm spending for math additional to my bio, or I can go out and do an additional course, which will help me get my admission in medicals. So does Cambridge provide that?
Yeah. And if you're very sure that your child is going into the BPC stream, definitely you need not take math as a course.
Okay. So the same thing applies with math too. You can let go of science if I know I want to do.
But what happens is, I'll tell you here, the schools will mandate it.
Okay.
Now, Cambridge has coordinated sciences, where combination of all the 3 bio, physics, chemistry, math as a subject. Now, the schools also offer Cambridge physics, Cambridge chemistry, Cambridge biology, which goes in depth.
Okay.
Now, for 10th grade, typically we recommend the parent because at grade 10, you are still not very clear. 90 to 95% of us are not clear.
Exactly.
So why do you want to take the risk? So hence schools say it is mandatory.
Okay.
right? Because you don't want to, again, risk there. Now, let's say you're going to India. In India only, you're doing your undergrad. Your 11th and 12th, now 11th and 12th admission will depend on what your subjects are in the 10th.
That was my next
Yes.
question. Yes.
So that's why there should be an extreme levels of clarity. Then only, you can move forward. But sometimes when schools will not say yes to it, they will say no, you have to take all the subjects, it's better.
Yeah.
Because parents will come back.
Exactly.
And we don't want to take that risk.
True. That was my thing, because let's say, of course they're children. They get to change their mind. They can change their mind over the food. So I'm sure they want to change their mind over subjects too. So let's say my daughter wants to do sciences in her 10th grade, but after she's taken sciences, she suddenly realizes, oh my God, it's too difficult and I won't be able to do medicine, or I don't want to do medicine. And she has to continue in the same school in Cambridge, as far as I know, for 11th and 12th, because she's opted off math. Now, if she goes to 11th and 12th state syllabus, she won't be able to get an admission in any other colleges because she's dropped out math.
Yeah, that clarity has to be there for the parent. That's where schools educate parents. And sometimes it backfires when schools listen to the parent and drop a course, because then, it is like, now what do I do? I'm in an ocean. Now where should I go, right? You don't want to put that pressure to a child or a parent. Hence, schools, we suggest that take these. It's better to take them. Later part now, let's say math, physics, biochemistry you have done. You can still become an entrepreneur. You can still become an artist. You can still do whatever. If you want to be a doctor, biomedical engineering is there. Now, doctor with AI, general medicine is a big threat.
Yes.
Whether, why? Doctor might not be required. A general physician might not be required to certain extent.
Right.
With AI coming into picture, because everything data analysis is done, it's driven by data, and then, AI is taking care of it.
Yeah.
So biomedical engineering will help you, will help the child. They get that, yes, I'm into science and also I'm doing the engineering, right?
So, one question
Because
I
they're
want to
poor,
ask.
that's why schools, we don't let them let it go.
Exactly.
You can let go of entrepreneurship or business, but math, science, and physics we usually don't end.
So those are the mains that you would not suggest.
We would not suggest.
So you mean to say that is a drawback in Cambridge curriculum as such, because you're giving an option for a parent and a child to choose in such an age where the child probably is not aware of the choices that the child is going to make. Do you feel that it's a drawback in the curriculum?
Not a drawback. It is about the decision making. It's an international curriculum. Why will it be a drawback for Indian parents? Only an Indian parent. So again, it depends on the psychology or socio-economic conditions,
Okay.
Right? I mean, as Indian parents, most of us, we get inclined to these streams. We have to accept it. That's the truth.
That's why I'm asking, because for a quite long time, it's always been either engineering or medicine or commerce, and that's it. But whereas Cambridge, the moment Cambridge comes into the picture, it opens up lots of doors for a child.
But again, it depends on which part of the globe you are. Now, when we are Indian parents, when we are inclined, the schools would not want to take that risk. That's why they guide the parents, because at that point of time, at that moment, we think that we are doing right for the child and the parent, again here. But later they realize, no, the child also can change, the parent also can change.
Exactly.
Then that risk factor should not be there. Hence, we do that. It's got nothing to do with the curriculum.
So let's say if a parent has been in a traditional CBSE school and the parent wants to change the child to a Cambridge school, is there any grade which is advisable or which is the right age to change the child? And how does the transition happen?
A very good question, Deepti. So what happens is, if schools allow this, it is very tough to handle the emotions of the parents.
Emotion of the parents?
Yes, I'll tell you. This year, in grade 2, I'm in CBSE, but after 2 years, I want to go to Cambridge. And then later I decide CBSE, and then again I want to go to Cambridge, or I want to change. If it is happening within the school system, we are confusing everybody. So the best is you stick to one curriculum. But at some point of time, you have decided that you have to change your child. You can still work out with your schools. Let the child get assessed. From CBSE moving to Cambridge, now with our Indian mindset, we think that a child is good in math when fast calculation is happening.
Yes.
Versus, critical thinking. So when we have such kind of mindset, moving from CBSE to Cambridge, and then CBSE, we refer to the textbook, and textbook is Bhagavad Gita or Bible for the child.
Yes.
And to the parent also. Versus Cambridge, it's not same anymore. It's different. So the parent and the child, both of them have to be comfortable with it. So first we can assess the child on thinking ability. Once we think that, yes, with little bit of push and help at both ends from the school and from the home, then yes, we can take the child to Cambridge. It's possible. But it is not possible at a larger scale.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gets really tough logistically and everything. Everything is, it is tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say as a family, we've decided to change the child from a CBSE to Cambridge. So do you have any guidelines as an educator that you can give us as parents that we can do? Let's say next year I want to change my child. I have a year. So can I do something at home that would be helpful for an easy transition for her?
Definitely. See, when at schools, we just conduct a test not to understand a child, not to judge a child. Where is the child? Is the child at a minimum learning level of that particular grade? If the child is, now let's say you're coming from CBSE, and as a parent, we got used to 90 out of 100 or 95 out of 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now in Cambridge assessment, it's not that. Yeah. Now you should not feel bad. Oh my God, what happened to my child? Why is he or she did miserably? Maybe they did not prepare. You should not take it in a wrong direction. Please be positive. Yeah. We are checking on the skills of the child. Thinking ability, creative thinking, logical reasoning, data analysis. When we know this is where the child has to improve, if you're collaborating with the school, the teacher and parents, we can do wonders with our children. But the collaboration should be there. We should not panic that, oh my God, why are the grades less?
So it's not just the child, it's the parents also have to be prepared for the transition.
Parents need not teach at home.
Okay.
The teaching part will happen at school.
Yeah.
But the guidance, like let's say, ma'am, please see that these extra worksheets have to be done at home. Monitoring has to happen. No teaching.
Okay.
Now, let's say the child is stuck with a concept. All the parent has to do is call, because at least a few schools, in our school, we do have, like me coming from a corporate background, we do have tickets open the concern.
Okay.
Right, where you open the concern, ma'am, this is where my child is finding it difficult about the concept. Can you please help her at school?
No.
Done.
Okay.
The teacher will take her time during her free time and then, take the concept to the child. But that monitoring has to happen. Yes, my child has done by himself or herself. We don't encourage tutoring at all.
Okay.
It's not required.
So if the child goes to school, Cambridge, or any curriculum for that
curriculum,
matter.
no tutoring.
No tutor.
No tutor.
As an educator, that's your strong word.
Yes. If the child pays attention in the classroom, or if the child requires extra help, the schools itself we suggest.
Okay.
Maybe, in this area. And that too, I'm not sure about other schools. With us, we say, this is how you need to tell or train the child at home.
Okay.
Yeah. So that whether they're going to tuition or to parent or the teacher, we are all on the same path. We are not confusing the child.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is perfect. There can be a slow learner, and that's absolutely fine. There are many slow learners out there. There are many introverts out there who are the CEOs. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's absolutely fine if there is a huge area of improvement for our child. We have to accept the way they are.
Okay.
Feel proud of them.
So you want the parents to approach the school first, rather than trying to figure it out by themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Why should they figure it out?
Okay.
Come to school. If school is not able to help you out, then there are ways. Then you go. But any school will obviously be able to help you out. They would say, this is how you need to go about. But if both of us are working parents and we don't have time then you need a monitor, not a tuition teacher.
Okay.
You need to have a monitor to make sure, instead of in your place, somebody is looking whether the child is doing the given work or task.
Okay.
Ask the child, do you understand the concept? Is it okay? Or do you think you have you need some help? If the child says the help instead of parent, the monitor will raise the concern or call the school. School cannot operate beyond certain time. So the next day, schedule for an appointment, talk to the teacher.
Okay.
So our efforts have to go in a positive way, not calling this parent, that parent, discussing about a teacher. Yeah.
Yes. As a parent, that's very assuring
Yeah.
that we can call the school
Of
directly.
course. Of course. Schedule an appointment.
Okay.
Take an appointment with the teacher. I think schools will be willing to do that. They will, and they will. Why not? Because we are doing so. If we are doing, all of us will do.
Okay.
Because no educator would not say no to any child.
True. Most of the parents would like to know is the global recognition of Cambridge curriculum, especially for the families as such, to understand the curriculum itself is something difficult. So can you elaborate on that? I mean, how would our child, if the child studied in Cambridge, stand out in globally?
So, if our outcome is my daughter or son is somewhere on the globe competing with the global audience, that is secondary for an educator.
Okay.
Yeah. The primary thing is, yes, you're going with the curriculum. You're competing just not with your national level children, but with an international level, and you're being recognized at a global level. Even though you have done Cambridge within the nation and then you decided to do your undergrad in India, you're still recognized.
Okay.
Does it give me extra credits or extra, leverage? I would say yes, because for undergrad in US, for undergrad in US, you have to do 150 credits, and a few of the credits can be compensated with the Cambridge. I'm not sure how many credits that can be compensated, but few. Now, what do children in US do? They go through this curriculum and they write advanced placement exams, AP exams.
Yes.
Now, why do they do the AP exams? Again, it boils down to the budgeting and also to the scholarship and how the child is interested. First year of the undergrad course, mostly it will be the prerequisites. If at all you're coming, if you're an international student, how then they have the prerequisites. If you're the resident of US, I mean, you're resident of one of the states, then US history, psychology, all these courses the children can do from grade 9 to 12.
Okay.
Which our children also can do. Whether they decide to go to US or not, that's a different thing. But if a child is interested, then there is a platform out there.
Okay.
You want to do a psychology, do an AP psychology, and then you have not decided for undergrad you want to go out of the country, then still that it is there, and it is a self-learning. It is there on the college board. And few of the schools are the exam centers where the child can go and write the exam.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, Cambridge students, yes, they have the international global recognition, and there is an ICE award, like International Certificate of Education, where they get distinction, merit, and pass. Yeah. So yeah, definitely they have that recognition.
Okay.
Compared to our national curriculum.
So, Ms. Padma, if a child is done Cambridge in India, if the child wants to go to universities, first let's talk about India because we are here. After Cambridge, does the child have an upper hand of the other child who's done it from CBSE?
It's not about upper hand. Like again, is your child preparing for the competitive exams? One. Second question is the child citizen of India? Because most of the children who take this curricula, they're relocated citizens of US or other countries. Third point is if they are not attempting to the competitive exams, but yes, they will be qualified. If they're not citizens, then there's a qualification issue there. But every college out there will have their own entrance exam. The private college.
So, Ms. Padma, can you clarify the biggest misconception that parents have towards Cambridge curriculum?
One is if they are doing Cambridge curriculum, that we have to go out of India to do the undergrad, which is wrong. Second point is, yes, of course, the fee will be high because, again, it requires the human resource, we need to budget there. So the fee is high, second aspect. I won't say it's a misconception, but the main misconception is if I am taking an international curriculum, my child has to do undergrad outside the country.
Okay.
So that is the only one.
Okay.
That is
Not
a
needed.
misconception, which is not required.
The child
can still do within the country.
The child can do 10th till 10th in Cambridge and 11th and 12th get into state syllabus.
State or
CBSE
or Cambridge or even IB.
And continue engineering, medicine, commerce.
Yes.
The child can take anything
stream within India. But again, whether they are eligible to the competitive exam or not depends on their citizenship, which will be given very clearly on the website of Cambridge.
Okay. So the Cambridge website has all the list of the colleges.
The eligibility criteria.
Okay.
And to what an extent they are being recognized within the Indian universities. Yes.
Okay. So I think most of the doubts, or I would say for me, I would say all my doubts have been clarified related to Cambridge. To sum it up, do you have any take that you want parents to take away from this particular podcast?
From this particular podcast, what I would request parents is, irrespective of any curriculum, you need to be there for your child. Invest in your child. When I say invest your time. And that time doesn't mean you're micromanaging them or you're expecting, the best, like 100 on 100 or marks grading. You don't judge the child. Your child is what the child is. What should I do? Where should I go about with it is something that, as a parent, mom, dad, teacher, plays a very important role. When there is a collaboration between mom, dad, and the teacher, we can do wonders with children. Yeah, we can mold them in the way that we want to mold them. Yeah, that's what I would want parents. And the decision of the curriculum, again, it depends. Like few parents, for example, in science reproductive chapter or the topic would come in grade 10. In Cambridge, it would come much earlier. Few parents are not comfortable with it. So when you're not comfortable with such kind of certain concepts being taught early at age, they say, no, we don't want. Yeah. And few parents feel that the subject is too academically rigor subject. So they don't want Cambridge. It's fine. It's fine. The choice is ours. But before we make a choice, and we need to know what the curriculum is, how the curriculum is going to help my child, your financial budget, right? So all these aspects the parent has to know
before getting the child enrolled in any curriculum for that matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It was lovely having you, Ms. Padma. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepti. Hope I made few points clearer to the parents.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.